All right, lesson 8.6, solving x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Our objective today would be to factor trinomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c equals 0 and solving equations of that form. So we've been talking about trinomials. Yesterday we started factoring, and now we're going to take it a step further where we're going to solve equations. One thing I really want to point out to you is this, that today's trinomials will definitely not have a number right here. Okay, so that's the whole point. There's not going to be a number right there. Okay, it's just going to be an x squared, and that'll make it a lot simpler. The next lesson we kind of add something there, and then you kind of have to do a little more work with it. So today we're just starting out with no number in front of your x squared. So I call this reverse FOIL because we have spent time multiplying our binomials together using FOIL, and you get this trinomial when you do that. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take those trinomials and we're going to pull them back apart. We're going to undo our FOIL with that. Now you're going to think I'm crazy because there's steps over here on the side that we're going to look at. And you're going to say, oh, I can't do all those steps. But honestly, I promise once you get started, those steps will become very uniform, and you'll do them and you'll be fine. So I'm going to read through the steps, and then we're just going to try a few. You got your trinomial x squared plus bx plus c. You always start, step one is you're going to have to put up two sets of parentheses. Okay? When you get your two sets of parentheses, you then ask, what product will give me my first term? Well, today, remember I told you it's just going to be a squared term, whether it's x or a or whatever, and it's always going to be something like x times x. And you would go ahead and put those in. So that's going to become really quick. You're going to do your parentheses and then your two variables there. All right, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to look at this sign right here. Okay? That sign's going to tell you a lot. All right? It's going to tell you if you need to make the signs in the parentheses the same or if they need to be different. Here's the rule on that. Here's the rule on that. If it is a plus, you're going to put the same signs. If it is a minus, you're going to put one of each. Well, let's go talk about that plus. If it is plus, it's going to be the same sign that is right in front of your second term. Okay, like I said, you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to remember all this? You're going to get it. It's going to be fine. It's going to become very regimented as you practice these. The more you do, the better you're going to get. And last but not least, you think of factor pairs of C. We'll write those down, and then I'm going to tell you what to do with those as we go through our examples. Okay? So I think the best way to go through this is just work at them and try and practice some of them. So let's look at example A. All right. And example A, x squared minus 12x plus 27. So like I said, first thing, you're going to go ahead and put your two sets of parentheses. Okay, two sets of parentheses. Now I have x squared, and what's going to give us x squared? X times x. X times x. Okay, now, after we go through step 2, you go step 3, look at the sign in front of C. So we're looking right here, and that is a plus sign. What's it tell me that a plus sign is going to do? What's a plus? Same sign. And it says same sign, so you look right here, and the same sign is going to be what? Minus. So we're going to put a minus and a minus. Now, here's where you're going to have to do some thinking. Think of 27. Think of 27. Right here, let's write down all the factor pairs of 27. The first one, 1 times 27. What's the next one?
9 times 9.
Yep. I'm going to put 3 times 9. Any more? Okay, so here's the best part. When this is a plus sign, you want to know the factor pair that adds up to 12. Which one of those factor pairs adds up to 12? Evan? Yeah. So you put in 3 and 9. And basically I'm done. When you guys get better and better at this, you're done. Right now, you know what I want you to do? How do you think you could check your answer? My tree. Yeah, definitely. Foil that. Foil that and make sure that you come back to the problem you started with. So if we do that, first would be what?
X squared.
X squared. What's my outer?
Negative 9x.
Negative 9x. What's my inner?
Negative 3x.
And what's my last?
Negative positive 27.
Positive 27. Okay, when I put my outer inner together, negative 12x. So see, that is it. We've done it. We're good. Now don't make the mistake of saying, oh, here's my answer. No, kind of get rid of that. But your answer right now would be the x minus 3 times x minus 9, those quantities. So we have reversed foiled that. All right? I know you probably have a lot of questions, but let me do another example before we take those, okay? All right. Is everybody done with that red? Everybody done with that part? Yes. Okay. All right, so we're going to take this off. Let's do the next example. All right, next example. X squared plus 3x plus 2. So, like it says, step 1, we're always going to put 2 sets of parentheses. All right, 2 sets of parentheses. Step 2, what am I going to do? X squared plus 3x plus 2. What's step 2? Jared? Yes, because it's an x squared term. What gives us x squared? X and x. Okay? That's probably the easiest part right now. 2 sets of parentheses, x and x. All right, now, step 3. Look at your sign in front of C, right here. It's a plus again. It's a plus again. That tells me same signs. To tell which sign it is, you look right here. So what am I going to put in both my parentheses? Plus signs. Good job. Okay. Next, I think of factor pairs in C. Well, the best part ever is 2 is prime number. Why is that so great? Yeah, 1 pair. So it has to be 1 times 2. It has to be 1 times 2. Now, as I'm doing this, I said, as you guys are starting, the best way to check yourselves is to do what?
Foil.
Foil. Let's foil it back just to make sure. Okay, so what's my first?
X squared.
X squared. What's my outer?
Plus x.
What's my outer? X times 2?
2x.
2x. What's my inner?
X.
X. And what's my last?
2.
2. If I put my outer, inner together, what's it going to give me?
3x.
3x. So did we find the correct answer when we factored?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, again, make sure that checking, you don't put that as your answer. Your answer is where we started with the 2 binomials. Okay? Are we good? Now, what questions do you have? Ben?
How did you get the 1 and 2?
Okay, good. You always look at your C. You always look at this number at the end, and it was 2. And you write down your factor pairs of that. But with it being 2, there's only 1 set of factor pairs, 1 times 2, and that's where I got them. Up at the 27, do you remember I put 1 times 27 or 3 times 9? And then you pick between those. Usually they're not going to be so nice to give you just prime numbers and there's only 1 set. You have to do some thinking usually. Tora?
Will there ever be a, like the first letter, will there ever be a time where there'll be no x squared?
No, because then that would be something different. That'd be like what we did yesterday. Yes?
I don't understand how to get the numbers like after like x plus 1. I don't understand that.
Okay, so look at this 4th step right here. Okay? Think of factor pairs of C. So in this problem, let's go back. In this problem, Avery, it was a 2. And with it being prime like that, there's only one set of factor pairs, right? So it's definitely 1 times 2. But up here with 27, the factor pairs we said were 1 and 27 or 3 and 9. And then you have to do some thinking. So, and that comes with practice, knowing which ones to use, okay? This is just the beginning. We're going to get this. We're just got to start off slow here. All right, anybody else? All right, let's look at C. This one's going to be a little different because of that sign that we look at. So go back to step 1. What's our step 1? Parentheses. So we're trying to factor x squared plus 3x minus 18. You put your 2 sets of parentheses. Step 2, what gives me x squared? X times x. Okay, now here's where things change up just a tad bit. It says, look at the sign in front of C. Okay, I got a minus. What's it tell me to do for a minus? Use different signs. So that just means plus minus. And you know what? It doesn't matter which one you put where. You do whatever you want. Plus minus. Now, think of factor pairs of C. Here we go. 18 is going to have a few more. I definitely start with 1. 1 times 18. And then I would go 2. 2 times 9. Okay, is there any more?
3 to 6.
3 and 6. Any more? Then, nope, not 4 times 4. That's it. We're good. Okay, now here's the difference when there's a minus. You want the factor pair whose difference is 3. Okay, 6 and 3. Now here's something you got to pay attention to. What sign is on my 3x? What's addition? So it makes a difference where you put the numbers now. Makes a huge difference. You want your outer inner to come up with a positive 3. So that means, where's my 6 going to go? With the positive, definitely. Because when you do your outer inner, it's got to come up with positive 6. Absolutely. Okay, we're still new at this. I'm still going to say you guys need to go back, check your answer. Okay, there's going to be a time when you're going to be so quick at this, you won't have to worry about that. You're going to have it. But right now, we're just starting off. You need to check, do FOIL. So let's do it. What's first?
X squared.
Yep. What's my outer?
Negative 3x.
What's my inner?
6x.
And what's my last?
Negative 18.
Negative 18.
Okay, if I put my outer inner together, tell me what's going to happen. Negative 3x and positive 6x.
3x.
And that's what we wanted, right? You guys did great. So this would be the factoring quantity x plus 6 times the quantity x minus 3. How are we doing? Now what questions do we have? We doing okay? All right. So let's look at example D. X squared minus x minus 20. All right. So somebody going to help me with this time? Somebody going to step up and do this one. Who's it going to be? Evan? What am I going to do first? 2 parentheses, okay. Next. X and X. Okay, what do you look at next? Right here. And the minus sign tells me what? That they need to be different signs. So plus and minus, it doesn't matter which one. Okay, Evan, after we figure out our signs, what are we going to look at? We do need to look at the negative in front of the x, but look at step 4. Yeah, we got to find factor pairs of 20. So can you tell me? So you're going straight for the answer, huh? Okay, that's good. Now, if you can't do that, it's probably good to list as many as you can until you figure out what you need, okay? 1 times 20, 2 times 10, but he went right to 5 times 4 because, you see this? We want the difference to be what? Absolutely, -1. So, Evan, tell me, in order for that to be -1, which one has to go in which spot? Yeah, definitely so. Because you want it to come out to -1, the 5, the bigger one, has to go with the minus. Because when you test your outer inner, it definitely has to be it definitely has to be the -1. So I would highly recommend now that we FOIL.